students, I welcome you all to Current Affair Lectures by Azad ICS Academy, and today we are going to look into the current affairs of 3rd March. Right? The first important article that we are going to discuss here is the student and the three-language debate. So this is basically a part of education, social issues, social justice, basically. So there is no academic merit in trusting the three language on students. There could be a risk of raising a generation that is handicapped to compete national. So basically what has happened here is recently the Tamil Nadu state tussles revolve around NEP, that is National Education Policy. Okay. In National Education Policy, there is a formula called as three language formula. Okay. So what is this three language formula? See, any student would know three languages. One is their state language, another is English, and another would be Hindi. Okay. So like this mandatory Hindi education in state schools. So in any of the state schools that are there, these are the three languages. So like for example, if you are in Karnataka, you need to know Kannada. If you're in Tamil Nadu, you need to know Tamil. If you're in Kerala, you need to know Malayalam. So this is one of the state language that you have. And then automatically English, because if you're studying in English medium school, or even if you're not studying in English medium school, English is as it is an official language. So everybody need to know English. And another important language that they've added is Hindi. Now, automatically the southern part or South Indians would be it would be very difficult for them to read Hindi, adopt Hindi all of a sudden. Okay, so that is the reason Tamil Nadu is opposing mandatory Hindi language in the state school. Now, what is the problem? Why this issue that we have? Let us understand that. Okay, so the most affected group in the three language policy debate is the public school students who have make up about 55% of the total school enrollment in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so for example, firstly, the child who goes to public government schools and no one else, who should be at the very center of this debate. So they are talking about whom? They are talking about the 55% of the students who are enrolled in the school in Tamil Nadu. Children in private schools, largely from the upper class, increasingly rely on supplemental learning beyond the school learning as coaching or tuition classes, which a public school student cannot afford. See, you must be knowing that if there is a government school, okay, there the kids who are coming are obviously poor, or maybe they are not able to afford that much money, and that is the reason they are going to schools which are public schools, which are governed by the state. Okay, but if there is a big school, okay, and there are students who are coming to this school, and if it is a private school, what is going to happen is the students who come to this school will go for tuitions later on and they'll be able to make it up. But what about these students who are here? They will not be able to give that much amount of money or that much amount of focus on tuitions, coaching or tuition classes, which a public student cannot afford. The critical question is that is learning three instead of two languages essential for enabling the student or child from the public school to compete with one more privileged candidate in a job market and become productive value-added citizen. So they are basically asking here is that the key question is whether learning three languages instead of two language will help them compete to get in a better job. So if I know Hindi more, like if I know one more language that is Hindi, is it possible that I'm going to get a better job? Is that question answered? Obviously, no. So that is the debate that Tamil Nadu government is saying that if a person is learning only two language, then also the person will get job. Only by adding one more language, it's not going to be mandatory that a person is going to get job. So there is no need of us to make this mandatory Hindi language. Okay, this is what they are trying to say. Secondly, while national education policy is a path breaking for many accounts, there are few provisions that ignore the grounds realistic on public education in India, especially at the primary and the secondary level. The three language formula is one such issues as well. So apart from this, there are some other challenges that are there. A problematic hypothesis about the NEP, that is the national education policy. See, we need to understand that the national education policy has many positive aspects. I'm not saying that it is not having any positive aspects at all. It has got many positive aspects, but it does not fully consider the ground realities of the public education. Here, we are not talking, the NEP is very good for private sector institutions, etc. But when it comes to public schools or government schools, in that case, what happens here is NEP is not going to play such an important role. I'll tell you why. See, what happens here is, the three language requirement is problematic because it assumes that the learning of additional language improve the cognitive skills and job opportunities. So they say that your cognitive skills are improving, okay, etc. But it is not giving any kind of job opportunities or something like that. So it is very hypothesis. This is a hypothesis and a problematic one as well. Okay, it is hypothetical and it's problematic as well. Technology, including artificial intelligence, is making language proficiency less critical for acquiring knowledge. So having a knowledge about any particular language is not that important, because we all are seeing that there is a lot of technology improvisation that is happening anyways. While language skills are linked to cognitive development, researchers suggest that strong foundation in the mother tongue is more beneficial before learning other additional languages. So there are a lot of scientists who are telling us that instead of learning multiple languages, if a particular person is able to learn their mother tongue better, I think they'll be able to do better in their life. So there is no need of us to talk about cognitive skills, etc. So it is very important for the child's mother language is essential before introducing any additional language to that particular child. Okay. The third language can help in communication, but most adults learn new language based on the professional needs. So for example, let us assume when we were in engineering college, right? So we got some companies which came from other different, countries. Like we had a company called Unikatsu. Okay. So basically what happened here is they wanted us to learn Japan. Learn Japanese. It was a Japan based company. So depending on what is required for our skills, depending on that, we may learn new language, but that is not required to put it in the school level itself. Okay. But that choice is most of the adults make as a part of their professional they choose. Tamil Tambis quickly learn Hindi when they join Indian Army and try famously. Tamilians salesmen speak flawless Marathi when they sell their wares in Maharashtra. So it depends on where they are doing what, right? So in 2024, ASER survey shows that 88% of the third grade students in Tamil Nadu lack basic literary skills. They are not getting some basic literary skills, and instead of that, they are put with some language. So even high scoring students from English medium public school struggle in college because their English instructions at school is weak. So you have seen that if the English is not taught properly in the school, in over a period of time, they have to face a lot of issues when they grow up in, higher education, etc. So we have to focus on quality education instead of additional language. So what is that we have to look into? So first thing that we have to understand here is, so these are the issues when it comes to NEP. So NEP or anything for that matter, the focus should not be on language, but it should be on quality and learning outcomes. So what we have to understand here is the language that we are providing should be of a very good quality. It should work on the learning outcomes rather than just adding one language. See, adding one language would not help any students. But what would help? Giving a proper quality and learning outcomes would help. School should have limited time to teach subjects. Education should focus on curiosity, critical thinking, creativity. Okay, this is what it should focus on. Now, languages play a very important role when it comes to culture. Okay, I'm not saying no, but national unity can be promoted through respecting different cultures also, right? Just introducing a language would not make it, that we are united as a country. Okay, if a person is respecting others' culture, that is also promoting unity itself, right? So strengthening English language skills would help students access better global opportunities as well. Okay, and there is a kind of a approach, patriarchal approach. Instead of making third language mandatory, Hindi could be offered as optional subject for the middle school onwards. Okay, this could start in a district headquarters and expand on demand. A rigid political stance may limit students' opportunities in further. So the issue should be addressed through discussions rather than conflicts. So there should be no negative kind of thing. What they should do here is they should make sure that the English education is given properly. The third language that you're talking about, that is Hindi, should be mandatory, can be depending upon whether that particular student want to take up that particular language or not. It should be given as an optional subject and not a mandatory subject. Okay, this is something that we need to understand. The next important topic that we have for today is based on the urban bank. That is, urban cooperative bank urgently need to get their act together. Okay, so why this is in news? So we will have to see that's rupees 122 crores was embezzled from the safe of two NICB Mumbai branches within impunity over the last 6 years without getting detected is telling commentary on a failure of lines of defense, internal staff compliance, risk management, internal audit, and external statutory auditors. So basically what has happened is there's some kind of fraud that has happened in urban cooperative bank, and because of this, what has happened here is this is showing that there is a breakdown in the mechanism. So we will discuss about that. So what exactly has happened? Okay. Now, we need to understand problem with urban cooperative banks. What is the problem that we have when it comes to urban cooperative banks? The first and the foremost problem that we have with the urban cooperative banks here is that there is a lot of fraud that happens and mismanagement. Right? So you have to understand that urban cooperative banks have frequently faced financial irregularities, including the fraud such as 122 crore scam at New India Cooperative Bank and another 6,250 crore Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank scam. So these are the scams that have been done. So that is because there is a lot of fraud and there is a lot of mismanagement that's happening. And another important thing is there is a lot of weak governance of these particular, banks. Many urban cooperative banks suffer from poor internal control, ineffective boards, and conflict of interest, leading to financial instability. So there is a lot of financial instability that has been created over here. Okay. And we have to also understand that inadequate oversights and liquidity issue. Many urban cooperative banks lack financial strength to withstand economic shocks. They'll not be able to, withstand a lot of economic shocks. And there is a lot of delayed actions as well. So this is what has been mentioned in your article as well. Okay. So let us see. That is nothing but the observation could apply that urban cooperative banks, by going the rate at which they are being getting into spot, including frauds over a last quarter century or so, the hardship is caused to the depositors and the borrowers as well. So people who are borrowing money and the people who are depositing money, both of them are kind of facing some issues. So we have to understand that there is a scam that has happened of 122 crore scam as per the current estimate at Mumbai based New India Cooperative Bank. Coming to the light, the Reserve Bank of India has work cut out to save the money or monies of deposits with the savings over the deposit insurance ceiling of rupees 5 lakh. The RBI may have to find out the white knight like, and it did not, and it did in the case as well. When it come, where there was another fraud that they're mentioning about Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank. Okay, at similar kind of thing has happened now also, and that is why this is coming up into news. And what is the important thing that we need to understand out of the box? Although larger deposits of PCM Bank will get their money back piecemeal over an extended period of 10 years. So in 10 years, they'll be getting their money back. This was an out of the box solution to save their deposits. So whether RBI will once again return the aforementioned secure model to the case of this NICB or come up with some other conventional solution. So we are not sure what is the solution that RBI is going to come up with. While NICB small depositors with this deposit of 5 lakh will get their money back by the mid-May 2025, provided with they lodge their claim of deposit insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation through the branch by March 30 will be able to get a long haul for a larger deposits. So we have to understand a little bit about banking system over here. Okay. So what we have to understand in this banking system here is, this is your RBI. Very, very important, Reserve Bank of India. Now here we have two types of banks. One is called the scheduled banks. Another is called the non-scheduled banks. Okay. Here in the scheduled banks, you have commercial banks. Basically, in the scheduled banks, you have basically commercial banks. And you have cooperative banks. Further, you have separate kind of commercial banks. That is public sector banks. We have private sector banks. We have foreign banks. And we have regional rural banks. Now, public sector banks, again, we have SBI, State Bank of India, and further, you have other nationalized banks such as Canara Bank, you have Syndicate Bank, etc. Right? And in a private bank, you have HDFC, we have ICICI, you have IDFC, Axis, all these come under private sector banks. Right? And these are the cooperative banks. So here, in the cooperative banks also, we have different types. Okay, when it comes to cooperative banks also, look at this. In the cooperative banks, we have agricultural related credit banks and we have non-agricultural institutions as well. Again, here in agriculture, we have short term and we have long term, right? Again, or these long terms are also called as land development banks. Similarly, these short terms are again depending on who is scheming them or who is providing the schemes, so state cooperatives or central cooperatives or primary cooperatives. Okay, so all of them are protected by what? RBI. So this is a kind of a banking sector that we have in India. So stronger regulatory oversight. So RBI is supposed to have a strong regulatory oversight so that such kind of frauds are coming down. First thing. Second thing is time intervention. So timely it should intervene. It should not be like, okay, the scam has happened and then you come. It is not how it should work. First, you have to intervene and you should make sure that the scam does not happen. Okay. So deposit protection also. Ensure prompt distribution of insured deposits and consider innovative rescue model like utility bank or small utility bank or unity small banks or something like that. So RBI should come up with some innovative ideas wherein they are able to give that protection to the depositors who are depositing the money. Now let us see the important question here. Okay. What has been, actually it is what has been the most overlooked stakeholders in the three language formula debate. Okay, who are the people who are going to get suffered when it comes to three stakeholders? So either it is politicians, parents, students, or teachers. Try to identify this. It's a very easy question if you have listened to the class. Try to put your answers in the comment section. And if you have any doubts or any suggestions, please put that also in the comment section. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's lecture with tomorrow's current affairs. Thank you so much.